Hey YouTube and Facebook, my name is Jeff. I'm the first counselor of the Setting Order Ministries, and today we're talking about celestial plural marriage, and this is the reference book that has all the references about prophets telling about celestial plural marriage. And in the last video I left off on Joseph Smith. This is the Contrib, Volume 5, page 259. The same God that has thus far dictated me and directed me and strengthened me in this work gave me this revelation. Oh, this is part 2. This is part 2 of celestial plural marriage. And the same God commanded me to obey it. He said to me that unless I accept it and introduce it and practice it, I together with my people would be damned and cut off from this time henceforth. We have got to observe it. It is an eternal principle and was given by way of commandment and not by way of instruction. So what Joseph Smith is saying is that we're commanded to live this law, and if we deny this law and don't live it, then we're all going to be damned, and the authority won't be able to exist in the church. It will have to be taken, because if you reject this law, then the authority can't stay here. God's not going to allow that to happen. If we're not going to live His laws, He's just going to take it. And that's what He did. He took the authority out of Satan's church and restored it and made the Setting Order Ministries. Okay, here's another quote. This is from Brigham Young, Journals of Discourses, Volume 1, page 269. The only men who become gods, even sons of God, are those who enter into polygamy. So right here, only men that become gods have to enter into this celestial law of marriage, polygamy. Okay, now we're going to move on to Joseph F. Smith. So Joseph F. Smith, Journal of Discourses, Volume 20, page 28. Some people have supposed that the doctrine of plural marriage was a sort of superfluity or not essential to the salvation or exaltation of mankind. In other words, some of the saints have said and believe that a man with one wife, sealed to him by the authority of the priesthood for time and all eternity, will receive an exaltation as great and glorious if he is faithful as he possibly could with more than one. I want here to enter my solemn protest against this idea, for I know it is false. The marriage of one woman to a man for time and all eternity by the sealing power, according to the law of God, is a fulfillment of the celestial law of marriage, in part, but this is only the beginning of the law, not the whole of it. Therefore, whoever has imagined that he could obtain the fullness of the blessing pertaining to this celestial law by complying with only a portion of its conditions has deceived himself. He cannot do it. So in the apostate Mormon church, when you go into the temple to get your marriage sealed in the temple, you're making a promise to live celestial marriage. They take out plural out of it and just say celestial marriage. But there's no such thing as just celestial marriage. It's celestial plural marriage. And right in here, a man with one wife, sealed to him by the authority of the priesthood for time and all eternity, will receive an exaltation as great and glorious if he is faithful as he possibly could with more than one. I want here to enter my solemn protest against this idea, for I know it is false. The marriage of one woman to a man for time and all eternity by the sealing power, according to the law of God, is a fulfillment of the celestial law of marriage. So you have to live the celestial law of marriage in order for it to be valid. Otherwise, it's not going to be valid. And when you die, your marriage will end at death. when you make a covenant in the temple to live this law, and you don't, you only take on one wife, it's void, and you didn't make the law. It was a counterfeit law that you made. Okay, now we're going to move on to Brigham Young. Nowhere a man in this church says, I don't want but one wife. I will have my religion with one. He will perhaps be saved in the celestial kingdom, but when he gets there, he will not find himself in possession of any wife at all. He says he has had a talent that he has hid up. He will come forward and say, here is that which thou givest me. I have not wasted it, and here is the one talent. And he will not enjoy it, but it will be taken and given to those who have improved the talents they received, and he will find himself without any wife, and he will remain single forever and ever. So people want to live, people think that they can just take on one wife and make it to the celestial kingdom. Brigham Young's saying that people who think that, they're going to find themselves alone on the other side without any wife. That they will remain single forever and ever. So they'll be an angel living single and separately without exaltation in their saved condition. Okay, this is Brigham Young. General Discourses, Volume 11, page 268. It is the word of the Lord, and I wish to say it to you and all the world, that if you desire with all your heart to obtain the blessings which Abraham obtained, you will be polygamous, at least in your faith, or you will come short of enjoying the salvation and the glory which Abraham has obtained. This is as true as that God lives. So if you want to get the blessings that Abraham obtained, you have to become a polygamist. Because when you become a polygamist, you'll go, when you die, you'll go to the celestial kingdom. You'll have your throne and your family up there with you. Okay. Even in the Book of Mormon, it talks about polygamy. This is Alma, chapter 10, verse 11. For behold, he hath blessed mine house. He hath blessed me and my women, and my children, and my father, and my kinsfolk. He hath blessed me and my women. So it's saying right here, Alma is saying his women. So that means more than one. This is Ether 1:41. Go to and gather together and thy families, and also Jared thy brother and his family. So that's talking about polygamy again. So two scriptures that talk about polygamy. Okay, now we're going to read from Wilford Woodruff. This is the signer of the manifesto. This is from Millennial Star, volume 41, page 242 through 243. Again, this statement which Joseph Smith left contains a revelation and commandment from God out of heaven concerning the patriarchal order of marriage. And God, our Heavenly Father, knowing that this was the only law ordained by the God of eternity that would exalt immortal beings to kingdoms, to a fullness of celestial glory, I say, the God of Israel, knowing these things, command Joseph to obey this law, or it shall be damned, saith the Lord God. So what he's saying is this is the only law that was ordained by God, that's an eternal law that lasts forever. And if we don't live it, then we'll become damned. So Wilford Woodruff said, and he's the one who signed the manifesto. Wilford Woodruff was a polygamist. He had